What is your methodology when it comes to dealing and working with data scientists? Or maybe let's start, not just data scientists, like any data specialist, maybe make it a little bit broader, like data teams.
Yeah, so I took goals with them. I described the problem. I tried to get them as much context as possible. This is the thing we're working on. I explained the problem. I might mention the aims that we've come up with early on in the proposal stage, where we say we're going to build a machine learning model for this, we're going to ingest source data for this, we're going to do an optimization model here. So I explained the idea, and I look for that moment when you can tell that someone is on board with what you're saying. So I give them some time. I try to make it very certain to myself. I try to ensure that they've understood the problem. So it's really important that you give people time to understand what you're talking about. I hate giving somebody a task that's isolated and boxed in and has an input and an output, and then ask them how long it's going to take. Because at the end of the day, you want to engage them in the project. You want to get everybody engaged and think and help you cover your bases.
Sounds like ownership also.
Yeah.
That's where we're there.
So rather than creating a organization where you now dictate the tasks on a regular basis, I tried to create a space where these people are basically operating in a bit of a fog of war for me, but I can at any point in time, I can see what goal they're working towards. So a goal could be a 3-week achievement, for instance. You could say, for instance, I want to see a feature store with some really good features at the end of the sprint. And then they know exactly what to do. And I don't check their ideation. I'm there,
in case
available.
You need me, in case something goes wrong, in case you need some insights on block, we need to balance something new year. But so if you go do your own thing, I'm going to trust you're going to be able to execute on that.
And I don't criticize the output. I almost never criticize the output.
That's an interesting point.
But I might criticize the effort.
That's a good point, actually.
It's very important to know the difference here. There's many good movies about this concept. And it's also something I apply in my personal life with my kids. Effort is something you can control unless you get sick. Sometimes you ask somebody to solve a problem for you. And to think about what the client needs in the right way, that is a very difficult thing to nail down and say, I want this output here. You'll know when you see it, if it's going to solve the problem or not. Most of the time anyway. You'll be able to understand whether this thing that's being proposed is going to address the issue. But how do you predict whether that's easy or hard or how long it's going to take or any of that? So if you venture in as a leader, if you venture into the territory of punishing people by criticizing their work, if you're not happy with the work and you think that that's going to make them produce better results, you better be very, very good at predicting how long things take, what quality you can expect. And for anyone who's worked in this environment,
nobody's going to want to work in that environment.
Yeah, I know, because it's outside of the individual's control. Output in our space is a wildly varying variable. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's nothing.
Because a problem can be super easy. A few lines of code, that, put it into an XG boost, you're winning. Or it could be months of iteration and trying and testing different theories.
Managing people here in this space is more about much less managing them and much more looking after them.
I see.
And being there and setting goals together with them. Deciding together what's a reasonable goal for a 3-week period. That's easier than deciding exactly what this person is going to be doing for the whole duration. In in 10 parts, set one goal that makes sense. Be ready to accept that that might not have been achieved. And look at whether the person tried hard enough. What did they do to try? You can help them moderate the effort. And for next time, they might not want to go and read on Kaggle the whole time. They might actually want to pick up a scientific paper. Or they might want to go and talk to the client.
Unblocking them, finding a different way to get information, helping direct them, and look, you spend too much time understanding this model. You could have used these models, or whatever the case may be.
And it's also fine to have an environment where you can tell each other your output wasn't great. This is not good enough. There shouldn't be anything wrong in saying, I can't use this thing that you've given me. We need to try again. Tell me what you did to get here. Let me see if I can come up with a different way for you to approach this problem. Or go and talk to that guy who's done this before. They have a different way of doing it. Now you've tried your way. Go see how that other guy did it. And be very open about these things. And I mean, do it with sensitivity. So don't criticize people in public for something you could have talked to them about on the side, if you suspect that this might be a touchy thing.
100%.